Yo, welcome back to another episode of. Well, hold on, I'm already messing this up. The Fantasy Football Podcast with Mitch and Ben. Mitch,
Hi, I'm Ben. That's Mitch who can't talk tonight.
you know what? It's so jacked up. We're gonna roll with it. It'll be great. Ben, how
I
you doing,
say,
man?
yeah, we're gonna keep all this in. It's gonna be great. It just Mitch, it just goes to show we can both admit we've had quite a day. So we're on here tonight, just getting stuff ready. And you know what? This is what we do. We do it because we love you guys.
We're
Otherwise,
dedicated.
I would want to. Yeah, I would 100% be in bed right now. Otherwise, so Mitch, we're dedicated. We do it for the league,
We do it.
for
Yeah.
love.
Dude, I can't believe I just like introducing myself.
Or how about for tonight? I'm Mitch. You're Ben.
No, because whenever we talk about the Eagles and Chiefs game, I want to be Mitch, and you need to be Ben. So, all right. Well, week one is in the books. We're gonna get right into it tonight. We're gonna start with some power rankings. We're gonna stick to the fantasy league right now. Ben, who do you have as the top two teams in the league?
uh, after last week, I think that I have to say that since I got so soundly trounced by Steve's team, I gotta have Steve in my top two. I have to because, number one, he pulled out the win. He actually had the highest score out of everyone last week. So also the added knowledge that I talked a little smack on the podcast and he 100% stuck it to me. So Steve, you're definitely in there. And then I've had a little tough between the next one. I will still say that I do like Andrew's team, but they did not put up numbers like I thought they would. Um, so I'm gonna show some love to Sam because again, I like the production that he put out. Sam, you were sneaky about this stuff. And again, I don't always expect somebody, quote, new to the league to come in and be that competitive. Sam, my hat's off to you. I'm not wearing one, but the imaginary one, it's off. So keep it up, man. Keep it up.
I'm not gonna call Sam quite new. He's been in this league before. First time being part of the actual keeper part. I know he took over Taylor's team last year, so he's above new. I'm not going to give him the rookie credit. Uh, his team showed up and delivered. So, and I got the fun dealing with him this week. So, I think right
All
now,
I'm hearing is that I love Sam more.
um, Sam, I love you, bud.
All right, look
Um,
here, Mitch. You correct me. Correct me.
Sam knows I love him. He's not. He might not be loving me after this week with Eagles Chiefs game. I'm gonna keep going back to that, but I think for me, my top two, credit where credit is due. I was pretty critical of Steve's team with all the rookies. To be clear, he did not win because of the rookies. He had one that really delivered in a wide receiver, but his 1-2 punch, the two that I absolutely loved, and then he rib caged his own team. Well, those two carried it. If his team does that every week, Steve's team can be a problem. So we'll see. I have a feeling Steve was going to fall out of the top two. But for now, props to Steve. I give him number one. And I'll give it to Sam for being number two. I know that's kind of being, well, we're just kind of going with the standings, most points, and winning record. But what should you do after week one? I know Andrew's team, I think it's better than what it performed. My team is better than what it performed. I mean, Joe Burrow did not do well for me at all. So, and I'd expect him to get rough, closer to
Cannot wait
20
to
points.
mention more about that.
So, but yeah, I'd say my bottom two teams. I'm honestly like Cameron's down there. I'm gonna stick to the rankings. I'm gonna give it to Cameron and oh, was that Clark? I think no. Yeah, no, it's Clark. Clark is at the bottom. Um, I will say, little Josh got
Hmm,
close. Little Josh would have won if he accepted my trade last week. By the way, I made sure he was aware of that.
gross. Mitch, I'm gonna go ahead and agree that sadly Cameron's team really off to a slow start. Cam, for your sake, I hope they can, you know, do the opposite of what I expect the Bengals to do, which is hemorrhage a slow start, and just keep slowly progressing. But Cam, I know you. You're better than the Bengals. You can do this. You can do this. Little Josh, I'll never say that to your face because I love you. Unlike Mitch. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that, Clark, yeah, not looking great, but let's take it a step further, Let's really push it out there of teams that maybe should have performed a little bit better but didn't. I'm looking at you, Mike. Looking at you. Right now, Mike is seated number 8. He's got, yeah, what was it, 96 points last week. My team only had 92. Mike, I know in real life my team can crush yours. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. To me, bottom two teams is the 12th place team right now and the 8th place team, which means everyone below that I actually have ranked higher than Mike's team.
All right, I'll take it.
It's what I'm here for. I'm here for hot takes.
Well,
That's what I
I'm
do.
I'm all for it. So, before we get into matchups, we're gonna do our top three NFL teams. Right now, your top three go in order.
Philadelphia. Oh, so number one has to be first, or they go number three, number two, then number one.
However you want to do it.
Buffalo Bills number one.
Okay.
Philadelphia Eagles number two.
Okay.
Baltimore Ravens number three.
Okay.
Did you notice that I did that without mentioning the Chiefs at all?
Well, I'm proud of you because they're not in the top five right now. Hey, if I was a Chiefs fan, that's where I'd want to be, under the radar. Be under the radar.
I get that. I'm just saying I'm here for hot takes and truly unbiased information for you guys. I want to give you what you need.
So, well, my
Now,
top
Mitch,
three,
where did the Eagles rank on yours?
they're number one on mine. They're the reigning defending champs. They have not lost it. Week one, every team has the week one jitters at some capacity. We lost Jalen Carter before the game even started. Jalen Hurts played a near
I think
perfect
that really
game.
showed up.
Oh, it did. And I mean, we need Jalen Carter on the defense, and especially when we're trying to figure out what we're going to do at corner. Um, but Jalen Hurts, he did exactly what he needed to win. His four incompletions, three of them were throwaway balls, and one was a drop by Saquon. Jalen Hurts did everything he needed to. So, and that's how he plays. He doesn't play to get the big numbers. He will beat you by whatever you give him. So, but
I
Eagles number one.
understand. I'm a little upset with maybe like AJ Brown's performance. I'm gonna assume you guys are gonna fix that before week two,
You,
or
we'll
or should I just cut him now?
we'll talk about the Eagles and my take on that a little bit later. So, he's a wide receiver. He's a diva. You got to take care of it, but I'll get more into that later. My number two. This will surprise you. It's the Packers. It is the Packers,
Actually,
and
it doesn't surprise me.
and the reason why, because Buffalo's number three. Uh, Josh Allen reminded the league why he is league MVP. You still gave up a lot of points as a team. Still gave up a lot of points as a team. I know it was the Ravens, and that was a juggernaut of a game. But I'll also say the Ravens find a way to ribcage it whenever it matters most. The Green Bay Packers, that was a statement game. The Lions, they need to refine their identity, but they manhandled them. absolutely manhandled. And honestly, it's going to be either the Eagles or the Packers coming out of the NFC. This is just after Week 1 review. Um, Packers winning that division. I have no doubt. That's assuming the team stays healthy. Of course, injuries could derail everything, derail this top three. Packers are winning that division.
You know what? I won't argue. I'm not going to argue. I would say right now, the way they're playing, I think they're very much a top five team for me.
So I know most people they either have Bills or Eagles number one or one and two. I think most people have Eagles one and Bills two, and then Packers they're up there in the top five. I struggle putting the Ravens up there in the top five because they did lose. I know they played great. They're probably the most talented team, but no, if you lose week one, you shouldn't be in the top five. You shouldn't be in top five. So we'll see. But anyways, I think it's time for us to get into our matchup spin.
Oh, I can't wait. Who are
So
we starting with, Mitch?
who are we?
Give me a good one.
I tell you what. We'll start with Mickey B and Drew.
I'm so ready for this.
So since you are so ready, I will let you get this one kicked off.
All right, let me go ahead and throw this out there right now. Mitch, it's very important to always check the projections on this stuff so you have a rough idea who the app thinks is going to win. And I'm going to let you all know that right now, from what I see, Mike is predicted to win 109 to 97
Mm-hmm.
over Drew. And just going to call it now. Sleeper's wrong, baby. Sleeper's wrong. Mike, you're going down this week. You're going to start the season 0-2. Why? Because Jared Goff didn't show enough last week. Chase Brown, he's running for the Cincinnati Bengals, and what a joke of an offense that was. Oh my gosh. At one point, I believe the stat was that Cleveland defense had held them to 7 yards. Like, come on. Come on. This is Cleveland. So I think Cincy's in for a very, very rough go. Brees Hall, you're going up against Buffalo, who just did what to the Ravens? And I don't know that's going to work out. Amon Ross St. Brown, where were you last week? It wasn't on the field. Let me tell you, wasn't on the field. Marvin Harrison, well, you play for Arizona. We kind of know what to expect there. And Njoku, did you get a touchdown? No, irrelevant. David Montgomery, Detroit, Sonic and Knuckles. Uh, didn't look so great against that Packers defense. And I remind you, Micah Parsons was only out there for roughly 48% of the
Mm-hmm.
snaps. So I don't know what to make out of that. It's pretty clear to me that losing those coordinators up in Detroit might be a little bit more problematic than people may have figured. So, Mike, let me tell you right now, in my mind, the strongest play on your team right now
If you say the
is the
kicker.
guy who kicked us. It's the kicker, the guy who got the 70-yarder in preseason. That's your saving grace, buddy, because I just don't see much that I'm liking right now. Drew, I actually love the Baker Mayfield play. I think Baker's set up to have a really great season. He's got a lot of weapons. Look what he did with the rookie last week. Oh my gosh. Oh, love it. Alvin Kamara, look, yes. Is he older? Yes. Has he lost a step? I don't know. If they're pretty watching the Saints game last week, it's that the new head coach down there wants to run the ball. Mitch, you may know a thing or two about that head coach. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he come from last year's Super Bowl winner as their offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a downgrade from
Does that sound
Saquon,
right?
but you got a running back as a Kamara. I'd be running him a lot too, especially if you don't have a quarterback.
So I like the play there. I think Nico Collins set up for a pretty decent game. Zay Flowers, that the performance last week. If Zay Flowers is ever truly going to be a number one, that was it. That's how you do it. He looked sick last week. I loved it. Um, Other than that, Drake London, I'm a little concerned about whether he's going to be truly ready to go. But the good news for you, Drew, is that I also have him on another roster, so I'm going to be banking on that too. Uh, I love the kicker play. It's very important, guys. Kickers. We'll address that later with Andrew. And then, Mitch, you tell me what to think. Philly's defense against Kansas City offense. What do we do here? What do we do here, Mitch?
This is going to be one dynamic or the other. I think either the Chiefs are going to get stomped or they're going to show up because they remember February. I couldn't tell you. I could see both ways playing out in that Chiefs game. So their offense is hurting on injuries. I think playing the Eagles defense is a smart play. Jalen Carter is going to be ready to go, but don't be surprised if this turns into a shootout. It just depends. There's a lot of pressure on Patrick, as in he's losing his magic. So let's see if he's going to show that.
You want to say that again one more time?
That Patrick is losing his magic.
That's what I thought. That's that. No. All
Hey,
right.
I'm saying that's
Cleared
what
up.
people are
Mike
thinking.
going down this week. You're winning.
There's still some people. There's some people trying to
Okay.
say Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league. I'm like, no, no, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. So that alone, I'm not going to give it to him. He needs to finish the job. It's still Patrick's. I don't care what anybody says. He's the number one in the league. So all
That's
right.
fair. All right.
Um,
You tell me. Am I spot on, or you agree or no?
I think you're wrong. And the reason why, and Mike, you better hope I'm right here because if not, you're about to have a long season. I'm banking that Detroit's going to rebound a little bit. Not only do you have the Wombo combo, you decided to have a running back too from the Lions, and if you're going to be riding that out all year, you really are riding or dying with Detroit. And if they are not a good team, which right now they are not, if they can't find their identity, you will be among the bottom this year. So, but I'm banking there'll be a little bit of a rebound. Detroit's going to show up. I don't think Chicago is that great. I think I could see this being an interesting game. It's going to be in Detroit. You're playing against your old offensive coordinator. If you're going to show up, you got to do it now. So I'm banking on that for Mike. Looking at Drew's team, he kind of took a hit with Aaron Jones. It's not his show anymore after watching that game, which I get it. Um, but I think that hurts Drew's team. Impressed with Flowers. If can that be consistent? Because if that can be consistent, you're set. Like really, you have I'll say two weaknesses: your tight end and one running back. If you could overcome those, I think you're gonna have a heck of a team this year. Um, I know you picked up Goddard off waivers. I saw that today. And he's not in your lineup. I would play him over Loveland, but that's going to be a touchdown or bust type kind of play. That's just how that's going to be. Um, with Mike's team, the comment with the Bengals, they for whatever reason they don't really start showing up till week 4 or 5. They always start off slow. Can they overcome that? We'll see. It's Jacksonville. I like Chase Brown, but I don't know if I like him week 2. Give me week 5 Chase Brown, and I like it. Brees Hall showed up. Honestly, I Justin Fields and the Jets. That was a heck of a game we watched this week. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll see. Do we get to see a version of that again? Um, Harrison did some work. So Mike has some pieces, but he went too deep, a little too deep on Detroit. Um, you might be looking for a different quarterback here in a couple weeks, and maybe trading away Montgomery if Detroit can't get their act together. But I'm going to give it to Mike. A little hesitant on doing that, but I think Detroit will show up. Even with 3 players, I think it'll be enough to beat Drew. And that's just because Drew is weak in a few spots. So, close game.
All right.
All right, we will
Mitch,
move.
can I pick the next matchup?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I want Andrew versus Clark.
Okay.
B5 layer taking on the SPC Oilers. Do you want to go first or should I?
You were eager to do this matchup, so go for it.
Well, it does give me a chance to talk trash on both of them, so you see why I might be eager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Jumping right in. Andrew is the projected favorite. I don't think that's going to surprise a lot of people, especially with Jalen Hurts as his starting quarterback. Um, you said it. Jalen Hurts last week, he did what he needed to do. He came in clutch at the right moments. He was playing smart football, effective, and not afraid to put the ball on the ground. Like the way he was running, it was good. It was
Mm-hmm.
working. They really didn't have to throw that much, if we're being honest, right? Didn't
No, they
have to.
didn't.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that a lot because, being a Chiefs fan, yeah, I'll be honest. Against the run, that's usually a sore spot for us. And not so much running backs all the time, but scrambling quarterbacks. Any quarterback who can run,
Mm-hmm.
you can put the hurt on the Chiefs. So I like the play a lot. Jonathan Taylor, you know what? Indy, not as bad as people are thinking, man. There's some true weapons there, and I'll eat a little crow and say maybe Danny Dimes is what they needed.
Well, the
Just
problem in Indy, it's never been their offense or defense in general. They've always been solid. They've never had the right quarterback, so to say. And I mean, the Giants, they look what they did to Saquon. He went to a better team and he delivered.
yep,
Danny Dimes goes
yep,
to, I'll say, a better team, and he had moments in New York, and then he had moments where like he's awful. So what's really the problem?
yep,
So the jury's out, but we're watching.
yep. So I actually expect a pretty decent game between that Denver Indy matchup. I like Jonathan Taylor. I'm not crazy about Henderson with New England. I'm really just not sold on New England in general, but they are playing Miami this week, who looked atrocious. I don't know if you've heard some of the rumors, but it sounds like house cleaning is coming. Like, one of those big sales, everything discounted, come trade. You can get Tyreek Hill for a fifth rounder kind of deal.
Well, he just got accused of
So
another domestic assault thing today.
I know, I know. So I don't know what to make out of that, but I don't think it'll matter. CeeDee Lamb, I think it's a great play. T. Higgins, look, if Cincinnati's going to bounce back at some point, T. Higgins will be a part of that. I'm not crazy about it, but we'll see. Tyler Kraft, I don't like the scenario of playing a tight end from Green Bay right now, but do what you got to do.
He got points
And
last
then
week.
probably the biggest, yeah, he did all right. But for me, one of the biggest shockers out there was who Drew, who Andrew had in his flex this time, Javante Williams. Did anyone see that coming?
No, to me it was a surprise. Now I'll say you were playing against the Eagles that had to completely reshift because they didn't have Jalen Carter, so the jury's
Right.
out. But he looked good. Like he was moving well.
Yep.
So if he stays healthy, and if that team could limit themselves or keep themselves from being one dimensional, and they could actually have a running game too, they'll be a good team. But I'll also say too, and you'll probably get to this point, he now has two Cowboys players, a running back and a wide receiver.
Yep. I was thinking, but again, remember the scenario too. That's maybe kind of by necessity because Andrew did the typical Andrew thing, draft somebody, they immediately got injured. Andrew, I will say this again. Please just stop touching Chiefs players. Stop it. They're not for you. They are not for you. Leave them alone. Like you talk trash on them all the time, yet you think they're good enough to play on your fantasy team. Just stop. Just stop. My team alone. So, Andrew, I do actually think you will win this week. Um, you do get to kind of point at me and go, "Hey, I know how to pick kickers." Okay, Yeah, okay, you did it. You did what I've been telling you for decades now. You picked a strategy and figured out a kicker to play. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. It only took almost 2 decades for you to learn. All right, jumping into it. Look, oh god, Clark. I again, Drake May. I don't know. I don't know. It's Miami, so yeah, bank on that. Saquon Barkley, look, he's going to be a solid play every week as long as he doesn't get hurt. I mean, he is the best running back in the league. Fight me otherwise. Not crazy about Kent Walker, but you know what, serviceable. Ladidi McConkey, I love it. Mitch, make sure you're saying the name right. It's Ladidi, not Lad. It's Ladidi.
Okay,
Devontae Adams, I hate the play. He's washed. Andrew, fight me on that too. I don't care.
I disagree.
Tyler Warren, I like it. Rookie tight end. He's got some skills. Ricky Pearsall, well, because of course they have to throw the ball to somebody
Oh,
in
Kittle's out
uh
now.
in San Francisco, right? Kittle's out. Now Christian McCaffrey has come back looking like the second coming, so you know, we'll see. Um I'll just go ahead and say it. It's mean, but Clark, I'm gonna advise you to find a different defense, buddy. This is just not a good weekend to try it out. I love my Kansas City Chiefs, but I do not trust them in a repeat matchup of the Super Bowl last year, and maybe not all parts and pieces firing on all cylinders. They're a little rough to watch last week. So, for your sake, I would advise you to just go see if you can pick somebody else up. Okay. That being said, still picking Andrew to win this. Mitch,
Yeah,
floor is yours.
I'll go. I'm gonna be pretty quick on this matchup since you had a pretty hot minute on it. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
Andrew. I think top to bottom outside of tight end, he has the better players overall. Whenever it comes to running backs for Clark's team, dude, I'm a little concerned about Walker. He did not get most of the touches last week. I
I thought Charbonnet looked better.
He did, and he played well. So I really don't know. Now it's only week one. We'll see. Maybe there's a little bit of a rebound, but you might be playing a secondary uh, or a second string running back in your starting lineup. Um, but same could kind of be said for Henderson too, a little bit maybe. So we'll see. But
Yep.
I think one thing with Andrews' team, it will. CeeDee Lamb's gonna rebound. I think he's gonna have a big week against the Giants. Javante
Yep.
Williams. I don't know if he's gonna get 13 points, but you're gonna get at least 8 or 9 out of him probably.
Yep.
Uh, and I agree. If we don't know what we're going to see at this Eagles Chiefs game, but the Chiefs defense is one thing I would not bank on. If Chiefs are going to
Yep.
be successful this year, it will have to be with their offense. I don't think their defense will be a
Yep.
top 10 defense this year. If they could somehow be middle of the pack and the offense returns to form, which we all know they're capable of, then yeah. So uh, your saving grace might be Judkins whenever he actually plays, but I'll also remind you he's a rookie, so who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Andrew. I'm even gonna go a step further. Andrew will be close to hitting his projection. I don't think Clark's gonna break 100. So it's just there's
Okay.
pieces about your team that yeah.
All right. I see you, man. I see you.
All right, we are gonna move over to how about Mark and Cameron?
On it. You want to start this one?
I could start this one. So I know last week Cameron had the the fewest points. His team will do better this week. Uh, Looking at this, I'm just going to break down by position. I actually like Dak more than Kyler Murray this week. I know Murray is playing against Carolina. but I think Dak is just going to have a big game. Murray's going to have a good game too. But running backs, I love Henry, but you're going against Gibbs and Irving. Honestly, I think I like Irving more than Gibbs next week. Not to hate on Gibbs, and I think he's going to do his job. But whenever it comes to running backs, unless let me look at, uh, well, hold up. I'm gonna change my mind here. Uh, Mark has Travis Etienne, and they just traded away Bigsby, and it's the Etienne show.
Yep.
I'm gonna give the running back small edge to Mark, and that's really more because of Derrick Henry. Um, I think he's gonna light up this week after I'll say his fault for why they lost. No way Eckler's gonna stay in there. Your flex, sorry, Hill. I don't know, dude. I don't think he's gonna get even 5 points. I think there's just problems with Hill on that team specifically. I like Metcalf. Whenever it comes to wide receivers, you guys are messing with my feelings way too much here. I don't like Travis Hunter. I don't. But I don't like Hill. So if I had to choose between Travis Hunter and Hill, it's if I want to be sure I get some points, I would play Hunter. If I wanted to long shot hope I got a bomb, I'd play Hill. I think in this, I'm gonna say Hunter. Um, that's tough. I know Hill's projected more. I just don't think he's gonna do anything. I'm gonna give the small edge to Cameron on on the wide receivers. My goodness. Uh, Tight end. These are the two best tight ends in the league. I'll call it a wash. If I had to pick, I'm taking Bowers. But if McBride has a bigger game, won't be surprised one bit. Flex, scary Terry. He's gonna have a good week this week, I think. Um, so and then Waddle. Sorry, anybody on Miami right now? I'm just not too high on. Kickers a wash. Defenses. Um, I'll give it a wash. You do have San Fran going against New Orleans, but you know what? I give the edge to Mark on defense a little bit. Uh, Pittsburgh did give up a good chunk of points to the Jets, but was that really more because they have a bad defense, or we actually saw a good offense in the Jets? So, man, this is going to be a close game. Um, uh, oh my gosh, this game's gonna be decided by like 2 or 3 points. I'm gonna give it to Mark, and that's assuming he's gonna play Travis Etienne. Um, man, I think this is gonna be the game of the week. Last week we had Sam and Drew. That was the toughest one for you and I to predict, if I recall correctly. I think that's gonna be this game this week. I'm gonna give it to
I
Mark
think that's fair.
barely. Um, I could see this being a high scoring game. You both will get over 100 this week. Probably both over 110 to be fair.
Mitch, I have to disagree with you on this one. I'm going to take Cameron in this one because I do agree with you on some points. I like Dak better than Kyler Murray this week. Running backs, I mean, Derrick Henry's a monster, but I fully expect Gibbs to pop off this week. And Bucky Irving, he's Bucky Irving,
I
man.
like Bucky. I like
So,
Bucky.
um, I do agree that you should probably work ETN into your lineup, Mark. Yeah, I think that's a safer play than Eckler because, well, we'll explain some more later. Tyreek Hill, like Mitch said, we have off the field issues and clearly not performing on the field. So, what do you do with that? Um, you run. That's what you do. You run away from it. Um, Mike Evans, I love him to death. I think he's extremely talented. Always a solid play. Um, I will say breaking down the wide receivers, including who your flexes are. I'm going to say Clark has the better options here because Mike Evans and Terry McLaurin.
You mean Mark?
But yeah, Mark. Yeah, yeah. Um, but DK Metcalf, not bad. And if somebody is going to be catching the ball in Miami, I mean, it stands to reason it could be Waddle. Not crazy about it. I do actually believe that McBride will have a better game than Bowers, but again, that's because of scenarios. So, um, Chargers defense is pretty good. I don't know if you watched that or not, but pretty good, especially against tight ends. Let's say Taylor's boyfriend did not have a great game the other night. So I think McBride against Carolina is again much stronger play. And I actually prefer San Francisco going against a fairly weak New Orleans offense. Um, but Mitch is 100% right. This is going to be a close game. I fully expect you guys to hit roughly your projections, but I think Cameron comes out on top by again like 2-3 points. You guys literally have it primed to be a nail biter all the way. So I mean that's what it's about, right? That's what we want fantasy football. We want good competitive games,
Oh yeah.
unless it's against Mike.
So this is game of the week. Um,
Yep.
so
Yep.
all right, Ben, we're gonna move on to your match. You and Little Josh.
You know
So
what? This is tough, man. Uh I'll say these are always a little bit of a sore spot for me whenever it's me and little Josh for a couple of reasons. Because, I got to go against my best friend since kindergarten here. It's tough. And, I even have a text from Josh today, which is anytime there's something crazy, I'm his guy. He has to talk to me about the craziness. So, uh, you know, there's always that. So it's like, oh man, I got to go against my boy, you know?
mm-hmm.
But that being said, Josh, every year, I encourage you to stop using your black magic. So, Josh, I fully expect at some point to receive that text that says, I don't know, man, your team's so good. I don't think I'm gonna win this week. I think you're gonna win. You're gonna beat me. And then what happens? He uses his little curse, his black magic, his shenaniganeries. I don't know what to call it, but the little shenaniganizer manages to use that to pull out his wins.
What did you say again? Shenanigan geyser.
Shenaniganizer.
Jeez, I
He's a
can't.
shenaniganizer. Yes. So, Josh, I've warned you in the past, and let me tell you, I'm prepared for it this week. I have the best quarterback in the league going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not going to say he's going to pop off for 5 TDs, but it could be 6. So think about that, Josh. Um, but realistically, Josh, my quarterback is better. There's nobody who's going to argue that. Um, I actually prefer my running backs right now. Even me talking smack on Miami Dolphins. Um, I think A-Chain against New England is actually a pretty solid play. I like Chuba Hubbard quite a bit. Uh, DeAndre Swift, I'm still on the fence on that, but if Chicago can pull it together and start running an offense like Ben Johnson was doing in Detroit, I do think that by, let's call it week 5, DeAndre Swift may be a significant piece for a running game. Kyron Williams, I'm just not high on the Rams in general this year. I don't like it. Um, Josh, I believe that you and I are primed simply for one fact, though, which is very possibly on paper the best wide receiver cores in the league. I've got Justin Jefferson, you've got Jamar Chase. I've got AJ Brown, you've got Garrett Wilson. I've got Cortland Sutton, and you've got Devontae Smith. On paper, that is gorgeous. If you were a quarterback and playing Madden, and that was your three starting wide receivers, you would be ecstatic. Except, apparently, none of them could score last week. None of them could put up points, other than Garrett Wilson.
Jefferson put up points
Sutton
at the
did
end.
okay. I know it's kind of a terrible thing to watch the entire game, though. Like, so I'm hoping they all have a bounce back. Josh, here's what I want for us. I want us to outscore everybody this week just on those three wide receivers from each team. I want us to put up 100 points each between just those three wide receivers. I'm talking 33, 34 points each. Bonuses, TDs, all of it. So if we can do that, we can walk away from this week winners no matter what. But one of us has to lose. And I really hope it's you. So I'm going to pick me, but just barely and only because of Mahomes. That's it. That's my only reason for me. Mitch, you tell me if I'm wrong or right.
I think Ben's gonna win. So looking at this, uh, I'm gonna get back to the quarterbacks here in just a moment. So running backs, I do give you the edge. The top two wide receivers on each team. So you got Jefferson, AJ Brown. He has Chase and Wilson. Honestly, I'm gonna give it to them, and I think it's because Chase will blow off or pop off this week. I like Garrett Wilson, dude. Um,
You look
I
good.
I think he's gonna look good. Tight end. Surely Andrews will actually be something next week, but who knows? That's a question mark. And then Hawkinson too. And then Sutton over Smith. I think this is big for you, Ben. I'd rather play Sutton over Devontae Smith. Love my boy, but I'd rather play Sutton. Um, whenever it comes to kickers, I'm going to call it a wash. And then defense, small edge to Josh here. So, Josh, I don't want you to text me this week. I'm going to tell you right now if you want any chance of beating Ben, here's my advice to you. First, your quarterback, drop him. I'm going to stay consistent with that. You have a better quarterback on your bench. Play him. You play him. If you play Herbert, he's going to have a bigger game than Mahomes this week.
Mitch, you just did me dirty. Why did you do that? Ouch.
He's going to be asking me anyways.
Josh, don't listen to him. Don't do it.
So you're going to play Herbert. No, what's great is he's not going to listen to me, Ben. And then I'm going to say I told you so whenever he loses, just like last week. But you play Herbert. But that's not the only thing you do different. You actually bench Devontae Smith and you play Pittman. Pittman is going to get you the volume. He might not necessarily get you a touchdown. He might not possibly blow up for 150 yards, but he could easily get you 10 catches for 80 yards. He might get 100. But I think you play Pittman. That's a safer pick than Devontae Smith. And right now, I think in this game, that's what you're going to want because these players are all going to show up. They will all show up. If you have one player not showing up, you will lose. And I think Pittman is going to show up for you. Devontae Smith, it's a high risk, high reward. So, but that's what you got to do. Not keep Caleb Williams on your team. Drop him. Straight up drop him. Play Herbert and put in Pittman over Devontae Smith. If you do that, you have a chance to win.
Let me ask a quick question. Are you saying that if he doesn't drop Devontae, he will lose? I mean,
No, no,
not
no.
Devontae, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, because he's
If he
cursed.
doesn't drop,
I, I'm,
okay,
I, I'm gonna
just
put
double check it.
it's gonna be a curse. If he stays on your team, you're losing. Simple as
All
that.
right.
Even if he's on your
Well,
drop, it's play those two players if you want a chance to win because you're not going to win with Herbert
you heard
and Smith there. Bet, do it, prove me wrong.
you heard
So,
him, Josh.
all right. Next matchup, we're gonna move over to AJ and Steve. I guess AJ and Tommy versus Steve.
Yeah, don't forget Tommy. We may have to have the discussion who's really calling the shots.
I would agree.
Just saying.
I would agree. So, all right,
Mitch, how
I could start
about
with
you warm
this.
us up?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're starting off with the two best fantasy quarterbacks in the league. I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call it a wash on these two. I couldn't tell you with confidence who I think is gonna have a bigger game. Um, then, then we get to the running backs. McCaffrey against Robinson. I'm gonna call it a wash. Robinson, he did a lot last week. They actually utilized him a lot. McCaffrey, it's one of those. If I had to bet who's going to have a bigger game, I'll say McCaffrey because he's like their only offense. But I could also see New Orleans doing everything he can just not to stop him, and it's also dependent on if Brock Purdy's going to play. If Brock Purdy doesn't play because he's
Mhm.
questionable, this heavily sways to Steve, and just in that regard. Um, Mason, that's a surprise to me. Um, uh, he played well last week. I like Mason. I do like Hampton. To be fair, he is a rookie. That's probably one out of your two rookies I actually liked. Um, so moving on, dude. These
Are you just struggling tonight? What's the deal here?
I don't know who I'm going to pick.
Hmm. Well,
I
I've got
don't. I
I've
don't
got
like
an answer.
Williams. I don't like Williams. I don't like Ridley either. Hold on. I thought.
I've
Man,
got some answers.
y-
I think you're trying to look and see is there a better lineup here, and I think there is some better options, some better plays.
I think there
Maybe
is.
risky, but
I think AJ's playing his best team. Um,
I would agree. AJ and Tommy.
yes. Uh, I don't. I'd play Ingram unless he's out. Um, over Kincaid, but that's
Kincaid.
for when it
Oh,
comes to
Kincaid didn't
Steve.
he have a Kincaid? He had a touchdown and 48 yards, 4 catches last week.
No,
So
I think that's also because they played against a team that gave up 40 points, 41
that's
really. I
fair.
don't think that's gonna happen again. Um, man, and then Steve might have to play another rookie. Um, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Steve.
Now you're
Pro-
seeing what I'm seeing.
Prove me wrong. Keep playing the rookies. I was a big critic of your team with all those rookies. Week one, it looks pretty good. Um, play the rookies. Um, jeez, I could see this game being a shootout. I like both teams. I have more confidence in AJ's team long term because I want to see more of what the rookies are going to do this year.
Yeah.
If I was Steve, I'd be pretty excited about my team. Like, hey, my team has potential; they can do it. Um, I'm gonna give it to Steve here. It's gonna be close. Bench bench Williams. Until we know more that offense, I think that's a risk. I think you got to play uh, uh, Krosky.
You got to play Bill.
Tillman's not a bad play either, especially against a Baltimore team that just gave up 41 points. Um, Yeah,
I'll be honest, Odunze was not a bad play.
I'm not sold on that yet. I get it. That's not a bad play either. Um, I'd put him number three. I'd go Krosky, Tillman, then Adunze. That would be my
Yep,
order, but I would play any of those over Williams.
yep.
So
I'm actually in I'm in complete agreement. I can't say that often, but I think you and I are exactly on the same page. I think Steve is Steve, if you make those moves, I will say your team is going to be my favorite to win this week. But if you don't, then I'm going with AJ. So I'll keep it that simple. That's my breakdown.
this
Steve, if you played Bill, AJ, if you don't.
man, this very likely could be the highest scoring game of the week. So
Yeah, it could. It very well could be.
all
Oof.
right, moving on to the
Did you
final.
save?
Huh?
Is this supposed to be one of those best for last kind of scenarios?
Best for last?
Yeah, you saved the best for last.
Oh, not necessarily. This week I just went from top to bottom. Next week I'm gonna go top to or this week I went bottom to top. Next week I'll go top to bottom. So um, but last match it is me and Sammy. Uh, Ben, you could start it.
Mitch, you're banking on one simple thing. Can the Bengals get out of a slow start funk?
It's as simple as
If
that
you
this
believe the
week.
answer is yes, if you believe the answer is yes, then you're well on your way to victory. If you have any doubts, then my God, please help you. Joe
I
Burrow, can you please perform like we know you can?
I don't think it's that I have doubts. It's
It's,
like I believe in Joe Burrow. It's just is he gonna show up or not this week? Like I'm playing him. Like
it,
there's no debate.
let me say this: Joe Burrow and the Bengals, the way they played last week, I think is the epitome of what I expect from an Andrew Orschman favorite team. Just gross. Um, I do like Burrow better than Daniels, shockingly, but I think it's a matchup thing more than anything. Cincinnati, you get Jacksonville. Come on. If you're going to bounce back from last week, here's your shot. Jaden Daniels, man, you're getting a test right off the bat. You get Green Bay, who really, really looked really good. Um, I would say that I prefer Mitch's running backs. It only has partially to do with the fact that I am not sold in the slightest on Ashton Genty. I think he plays for the Raiders. He looks like a Raider, runs like a Raider, smells like a Raider, probably a Raider. So, not interested. Um, I told you guys last week I don't have a whole lot of faith in James Cook. Um, Granted, he did have a pretty decent game.
Hmm.
I think he had a touchdown, like 50 rushing yards, and then I think he actually caught the ball, which I think we said last week was one of his things that he needed to work on. Like, be a complete back, you're more useful. So if he continues with this being involved in the passing game, James Cook to me is a better play than previous years. So I'll eat some crow on that, but I still prefer Josh Jacobs and James Conner just because I know exactly what I'm getting with those boys. Um, Malik Neighbors, Puka Nakua, I'll take Neighbors. I will. like I said, I'm not high on the Rams this year. Jacoby Myers, gross Raiders. Chris Olave, gotta throw the ball to someone, but problem is who's throwing the ball. So I'll take Myers there. Travis Kelsey, could you please play like Travis Kelsey prior to, I don't know, Taylor Swift? If you can do that, you're looking great. Maybe you need Taylor Swift in the stadium again this week so you can at least get a touchdown or something.
She'll be there this week.
Uh, yeah, Sam Laporta. I like Laporta. I think he's really good. Um, this is not even a contest here. Whenever it's Moore versus Leggett, it's Moore. It's not a contest. Um, Great name for a kicker, Dicker the kicker, but Harrison Butker is not only my favorite kicker in the NFL. I just love him as a person. I love, one of those guys who's just no problem standing up with his morals and what he believes in. It's hard for me to not root for the guy. I'll be honest. Uh, there's just a lot for me to like about him. I just think he's a likable guy, despite how some people feel about his comments on stuff. But I like Butker, and if you were watching that game last week, that halftime last second drill to go kick that field
Hmm.
goal, 59 yards,
That was great.
that was insane. Do you know how hard it is to pull that off? Like that's
Everybody was
clearly,
surprised that they pulled that off.
yeah, they clearly have practiced that a lot. So really impressive. I do like my matchup better for the defense. Denver against Indy just seems a lot easier than Washington against Green Bay. So,
You mean
I
my
mean,
matchup?
your
Okay.
matchup, yeah. So I gotta say, Mitch, I think that you're the one that pulls out the win. Sam, I'm not hating on your team or anything, other than Ashton Genty, but I do think Mitch is probably going to beat you by at least 10 points. I think that's a starting point.
So,
So,
um, with me, I'm gonna give myself the edge, but that's mostly because I think Joe Burrow is gonna show up. I'll also say Jaden Daniels against Green Bay at Green Bay. He might not get his projected score. We'll see. Um, if Washington has a rough time Thursday night, then I like my odds a lot. Even if Joe Burrow has a bad week, I could survive it. But
mhm.
I think Joe Burrow is more likely to be bad than or fantasy wise than Daniels just because of history. So running backs, I'm gonna I actually I'm giving this a little bit of a wash. I might maybe me a small edge. I like Genty. He is a rookie. I think he'll get better as the season goes on. I was somebody I actually had Cook above Connor on my draft, and I would have took Cook that round. It's Connor. It's the consistency. If Arizona is doing well, and if Connor will actually get touchdowns, yeah, that's great. And I had a touchdown last week, and that was exciting to see. The whole neighbors Puka. I could have drafted Puka. Oh, and neighbors, and it's one of those. Put in Dart, please. Get Dart. I'm hoping all the complaining that neighbors did this week, he'll get more attention and love. I think he has a higher ceiling, but Puka does get a lot of volume, and I actually think the Rams, as long as Stafford's healthy, will compete this year. Because I think Devontae Adams is an upgrade from Cup. Uh, so tight end, until we see what's going on in Detroit, I'll take Kelsey. Even last week, Kelsey got me that touchdown. I had 10 points or more with Kelsey. I could see that being consistent, and really right now it's him and Hollywood Brown. I really don't think
Yep.
Xavier Worthy's going to play this week. And here's my concern: I he's probably going to try. If I'm a defender, I know its shoulder's not well, and I'm going to hit you on that side. And that's
Yep.
part of the game. Now, if he could muster that, take that on, great. I don't know how well he Xavier would be able to reach up to catch balls. You're almost forced to throw it at the chest.
Yep.
Um, so, but yeah, so Kelsey, I mean, he's gonna be him and Hollywood Brown. I'm actually considering. I haven't decided yet. If I play two Chiefs players because the Eagles defense is still like this is one of those. I could see this game going a handful of different ways. I'm considering playing Kelsey and Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown had 15 targets last week. He had a lot. Um, so if for whatever reason they do rule out Worthy and he doesn't play, I'm likely going to do that. Um, I'm not big on Moore. I'm happy with where I got him in the draft, and there'll be some weeks he'll blow up. I hope Caleb Williams lights uh, lights it up and does that, but I definitely like either Moore or Hollywood Brown over what Sam has here. I think this is where I break away from Sam a little bit. Uh, Kickers, wash. Defense, um, I'm going to give myself the edge. However, if Denver's offense can't get their act together, Denver's defense ain't going to be as good this year. Bo Nix he was a little wild last week. He needs to settle down. Um,
Yep.
but
Sophomore slump is a thing.
I'm gonna give myself an edge, and I think it's gonna come down to the quarterbacks. Um, if Joe Burrow does not show up this week, and I give it 50-50, I will lose. So I was happy to beat Mickey B last week, defeat the current league champion. Um, but if I can get to week 5 at 2-2, like going into week 5 2-2, I'll be feeling pretty good. Um, and that's only because Joe Burrow, more likely than not, is not going to hit his projected score. He'll be south of it by at least 10 points, like he was last week. So that's it. That's our matchups. So,
Well done, Mitch. Well done.
um, all right. Well, we're gonna finish up with one more topic. We got Super Bowl rematch, Chiefs and Eagles. Um, I know me, like I'm probably a bit more optimistic that we'll win than probably like Eagles are probably feeling better about their team versus the Chiefs. Um, I don't think this is a must win for the Chiefs. I'd say that this is a must. We have to be able to compete because if they get just annihilated, I don't want to say they're going to be exposed, but I think that's going to be the downward spiral that they're just going to struggle this year.
Yep.
And but we'll see. I mean, I think if the Chiefs could find a way to, let's say they even make it 3-3, if they can get that, they got some tough games coming up. Philly's
They
one of
do.
them. Like their first half of the season, it's a torture. If they could
Yeah.
come out like 3-3 and whatnot, second half of the season's easier. You're still gonna have some tough games, but it's easier. You'll have Rasheed Rice back. Maybe Xavier Worthy's playing at a capacity. Maybe you trade for Tyreek Hill. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so it's not a must win, but it's one of those where they got to show that the magic is still there. We did see Patrick Mahomes have that one throw where he was completely horizontal last week.
Yep.
And I'll always say, as long as you got Patrick Mahomes on your team, you're never out of it. We've seen it too much.
Yep.
But I think they got a big mountain to climb this week. I think it's going to be tough. I think Philly's going to want to go in there to make a point, like, hey, that Super Bowl wasn't a fluke. We are the real deal. Um, and the Chiefs' offensive line, is it really better? So I know the
Yeah.
Chargers, I felt like had their way, but how much of that was because of either the offensive line or people couldn't get open because of either injuries or whatnot on the Chiefs' offense. So
All right. I'll jump in on that. So I'm gonna work in reverse here. Okay.
yeah,
Let's start with offensive line. Offensive line. Big issue last year was very clearly the left side, left tackle in particular. Clear upgrade in my mind. Simmons had a very good game. If you watch the tape, he had a very good game. Um, Worst part of the offensive line, Juwan Taylor at right tackle. 4 false starts. 4. Like, at what point do we say enough is enough with this guy? So we went and got Jalen Moore from the 49ers during the offseason. I'm just going to ask for the Chiefs how long until we play him at right tackle and bench Jawan Taylor, because at a certain point, those stupid penalties you can't be shooting yourself in the foot before you're snapping the ball. You literally watch Travis Kelsey yell at him and smack him on the helmet.
Yep.
Like that says enough right there. Like you are hurting the team right now. So as a whole, I think we're in a better spot offensive line wise. Um, talking about last week's game, I believe that when you watch how they handled stuff and the plays they called, just my 2 cents here, but I believe that they went into that game and the majority of that game plan was scripted around Xavier Worthy. And I think losing him that quick forced some real change ups. And there's nobody that they have lined up that can basically do those same things as
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown, I'll give you props, man. You came in 10 receptions on the night. You came up big. Like, considering that we've been waiting to see what you can do,
Yeah.
I liked it. Um, you got to see some more people stepping up, though. And offense as a whole has to perform. You can't just rely on a couple people, and
Yep.
you can't just pray that Mahomes is going to carry you through every play. The reason that it's worked in the past is that he's had weapons who were, able to put up. Travis Kelsey playing lights out. Tyreek Hill back in the day was doing great things for Mahomes. So you have to have those things to help him out. You can't just rely on him. Um, that being said, you're right. Just having Mahomes on the field, that is clearly a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can't rely on that. And when you're going to go play a rematch of the Super Bowl where we got trounced, you said it's not a must-win game. I agree, it's not a must-win game. But there is such thing as statement games.
Yep.
Statement games, they don't have to be a win, but you have to make those statements. So the Chiefs can still lose, but make a point.
Yep.
And that has to be the mark, the very bottom
I would
of
agree.
what they hope to accomplish. But I think you're also right for the Eagles. It's a statement game for them too. You get to go in to Arrowhead and show everybody that Super Bowl is not a fluke. And let's be honest, it wasn't. They were clearly the better team in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So for both of these guys, this is an important game.
Yeah.
The win, yeah, you want the win. But what you want more than anything is you want something to throw back in people's faces when they start talking. When somebody says the Eagles aren't as good as people thought, or they have no shot of repeating. You want this win so you can go show them, no, we mean business. When we said at the beginning of the season, we don't care about hoisting the banner in the stadium. We're on a new season. We're looking forward to the next Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's how you do it. On the Chiefs side, I said it. You need to make a statement and show people like, no, no, we're not washed. We're not done. So to me, this is the game of the weekend. Like
Yeah.
I don't think anything else can come in close to it. It's going to be highly watched. It's going to be a tough fight because both teams are so good.
Yeah.
They really are. And if you're trying to talk about, you know, Super Bowl contenders, playoff contenders, these guys are always in the conversation.
Yeah.
They are everywhere. So I don't know. I mean, I've said this before, especially like people at work when we do pick them and everything. I never pick against the Chiefs. Never. And that's even if I know they're going to lose. But it's just a simple thing. For me, I would rather pick them and be wrong on the outcome of the game than say that I didn't have the blind faith to trust my team going into that.
Oh, I
So
get you.
I will take the L on winning cash just to be able to say that nope, I stuck by my team even though I knew they were going to lose.
It's
So
I've always been the same way with my team until they're like statistically eliminated from the playoffs. At that point,
yep,
I'm like, just lose because I want a better pick.
yep,
But no, I'm like, I don't care the odds. I'm picking you.
yep. So there's my answer, Mitch. Asking me who's going to win this weekend, it's going to be the Chiefs in my mind, but I think it's going to be a closer game than people expect. Normally, I'd say it's going to be a shootout, but I think it's going to be the opposite. I think it's going to be a low scoring game.
Low scoring game.
Yep.
So I think it'll be a close game going into halftime. I think third quarter Eagles pull away. So it'll be a better match than what the Super Bowl was. Um, but Eagles will still pull away and win by 2 possessions before the game's over. And I think most of it's not because the Chiefs are a bad team. They're just not going to be able to, like, they're hurting firepower. Whenever you're down, uh, arguably your two best offensive weapons, it's unless other people show up. Yeah. So um, but yeah. Before, so there's actually a few other things I forgot because we got to do our Thursday and Sunday pick thing. But real quick, your opinion. So the Jalen Carter spit thing. We found out that he was provoked. Um, Not going to defend Jalen Carter. He should not have done what he did. Do you think Dak should have been fined or penalized at any capacity for provoking it?
I think that we need to do a better job of reviewing scenarios like that.
That's fair.
But um, I'm not going to say that there should be a penalty or anything because you can't have gone back in real time. But I do believe that now, know with that knowledge, the NFL does owe it to Jalen Carter to rescind the fine. Like, I don't think you should be charging him if you definitively can tell that he was provoked into that. Should he have acted in the way he did? No,
Mm-mm.
he should be better than that. But unless you're willing to go dole out a fine for Dak, then you shouldn't be fining Jalen Carter either.
Next one, the the smack to Kelsey. Now, I made a joke to Mark. I'm like, Your Honor, his hand was clearly open. It's okay. If it was closed fist, it'd be different, which I think that's essentially what it was. They made the comment like if it was a closed fist, he would have been ejected. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that kind of a hit, he should have been ejected? Or, like, how can you eject somebody for spitting but not a smack? So, to me, I'm like, where's the consistency? Um, they're
Mitch,
both assault.
I think that actually speaks to a problem with the NFL, which is that we don't have consistency coming from the NFL on punishments.
Hmm.
Because I think it's an even bigger issue than like this smack or a spit. We talk about, let's example Xavier Worthy and the whole car thing, and they at one point were talking, was it 10 game suspension is what they wanted?
You
Or
talking
no,
Worthy or
Rasheed Rice,
Rice? Yeah.
Rasheed Rice, but they're talking up to 10 games.
Hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but we've watched men beat their wives
And only have like 2 games or
or
something like that, or four.
sexually assault masseuses
Hmm.
and they don't get 10 games. So where's the consistency on that? Like, the NFL, I think you should be prepared to hammer down, but you better work on what exactly is the tiers and levels on this stuff. Because that kind of messaging, it really sends some really bad signals.
They're
So
very reactionary, being
yes,
like, well, how does the world feel about this? And they react. So,
yep.
all right, last one before we
So it'd be nice to see them lead.
last one before we do our picks. Lamar shoving a fan back. I could give my
Don't
take on
do it.
this. Well, I'll say this. Yeah, Lamar, you probably shouldn't have done this. I'll also say this too. To that fan, if you're out in the streets, would you have shoved Lamar? No, no. He would annihilate you. Um,
Yep,
I think there's a degree where I like having making fun of Lamar and whatnot. And I kind of did that in Discord a little bit. Shouldn't be shoving fans, which is true, but they shouldn't be touching those players, the fans.
yep,
Honestly, if Lamar, not that he would have swung, but if he like hurt him, I think there's like a video thing where he was apologizing, but he had a neck brace on. Stupid
yep,
idiot.
yep.
I'd be like, you touched him. Like, I mean, it's. it's kind of like if you smack me, I have the right to hit you. So I don't know. I think it's one of those things. I don't have too big of a problem with it. If you poke the bear might bite back.
Yep,
Um, so I think the fan being banned for life is good. I think he got banned for life. Shouldn't do those
I thought
things.
so.
Um, it's just NFL players in those moments still got to be try to be smart about it. I don't blame
Yep,
Lamar, but let's say it happens again and again, then there could be something.
yeah. If you show a pattern of it, then there really is a big problem here. But
Yeah,
again, we put so many expectations on celebrities, sports stars, all this stuff, and it's tough. Like
yeah,
they are still people, but there is that expectation that you have to rise above.
yep,
And if you can't keep your cool on that moment, then you owe it to yourself to not put yourself in those situations.
yeah,
But at the same time, there are expectations of how a good fan should conduct themselves.
yep.
You know, I've been to games in the past where um, I have not liked how some of the people wearing red and gold
Oh yeah,
have talked to other people, and I've told them that. Um, Bengals in particular, I've been to a lot of Chiefs and Bengals games, and you know, we can be competitive. I will tell you that some of my favorite experiences at Arrowhead have been while we've been playing Bengals fans. My cousin, my dad, and my uncle and I were there at one of these games. We ended up buying beers for the Bengals fans in front of us. They returned the favor. We had a blast. We lost, but we still had a great time. So that's what this is about. Everyone should be having fun, having a good time. Well, we just need to stop being so divided and divisive on
just
so many
and
points.
don't be vicious.
Yep.
It's you could give each other crap and a hard time in a respectful manner,
Yep.
but being outright mean, um, yeah. But every fan base has them. Some worse than others.
Are you talking
Some
about the Raiders?
uh, I've never been to a Raiders game. I know
You don't
I
have to.
see and all that. I mean, I'm part of a fan base that threw snowballs at Santa.
Yep.
So, but he's not real, and they're just overly passionate about that. So, they didn't quite get it's the spirit of but yeah, it's whatever. Um,
Did you get a lot of Christmas presents as a kid?
I did, but I don't live in Philadelphia.
I don't know, but like you just said Santa wasn't real, so I'm just checking.
Well, and whenever I was a kid, I knew. Is by the time I was old enough, I was watching Eagles games, and at that point, I knew he wasn't real.
I encourage you to go watch this classic movie called The Santa Claus and maybe try and rekindle your love for Santa.
Okay,
Just saying.
I'm pretty sure that's me now. I'm pretty sure that I'm Santa.
Oh, okay. I
So,
expect you in the suit this Christmas.
oh, I'm not your Santa. You get your own Santa.
I have to be my own Santa man. It's kind of sad.
So, all right. We're gonna wrap this up
Last
with
thing,
our two games. So we got the Thursday night and Sunday night. Ben, you and I got both games wrong, and you got one right. Um, I the spread with the Bills, it was a point and a half, and they won by 1 point. You're like, oh, like you didn't even think the Bills were going to win. You thought the Ravens were going to win, but technically you win because of how that was. So we got the Thursday night game. I will share my pick first, and I'll let you do it. Um, I got Green Bay. I think they're gonna exceed the uh, beat the spread. They're gonna score more than 3.5 points and win.
I'll be honest, I don't have it in front of me who's playing. You gotta refresh me on that. It's Green Bay and
It's so we got a Washington at Green Bay.
there we go. That's what I needed. Oh, so do I think Green Bay can win by at least 3 points?
It has to be at least four. It's 3.5. The
Okay.
spread's 3.5.
All right. You know what? Screw it. Give me Washington.
So okay, so you just remember to put it in the app. I'll remind you after the podcast is over.
I'll do it after this.
And
I'm
then
quite sure I picked the other, but I'm gonna go ahead and I did it before we hopped on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and go change it just for that purpose.
okay. And then Sunday night game. Oh, wow, that's the wrong one. Sunday night game. We have Falcons at Vikings, and they have Vikings by 4.5. That's the mark.
I want Vikings.
That's where I'm at too.
Yep.
So we'll both have that.
Um.
So we're split on the Washington Packers game. So here's hoping that we get to next week and we're tied. Otherwise, I'm gonna have
Yep.
a big mountain to climb.
I
So
can't wait for you to buy me that hoo hot.
I know Millie's excited to go to Hoo Ha too. So all right, we're gonna wrap it up with that. That's our episode this week. As always, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.